Hello, everyone. I am Fred Oakman here with Mr. Jake Peters, and you're listening to PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 355. We're going to dive into our thoughts on all things PlayStation. Before we jump in, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome, where you can also watch the video version of the podcast. You can also check out our trophy list on the PSN. I'm Anchorless_81, and Jake is JakeSaw01. Send your thoughts to psthisisawesome@gmail.com. Share the show with your friends. Don't forget to rate us. And for just $1 on Patreon, you can join the one and only $1 Club and receive a die-cut vinyl sticker plus a shout-out on our show. So visit patreon.com/psthisisawesome to support us. Now, through the end of December, we're running a deal for first-month subscriptions for 25% off. So we're talking 75 cents for your first month. You can use code 25OFF, 25OFF. In addition, you can now gift our show to a friend. If you want to gift it, it's a nice Christmas gift this time of year. We're going to be talking about Christmas gifts in a little bit. But you can go to patreon.com/psthisisawesome/gift. And that will also include the free sticker and a shout out on the show. Remember, if you like our podcast, it does us a lot of good if you can like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. With all that out of the way, Jake, how you doing?
I'm okay. I feel like crap today.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just, I don't know if it's the weather, because I felt totally fine while it was cold, and then all of a sudden it's 50 degrees out. And so I just think that my sinuses don't particularly appreciate that.
Right.
Because like starting like yesterday evening, I was just, I don't know, I felt kind of weird. My stomach hurt, and today has just been more of the same. A lot of drainage and coughing and stuff, but I don't know that I'm sick so much as I just like have all this sinus shit.
Yeah.
And Sarah has a really bad sinus infection right now. She actually went to the doctor to get medicated for it, and so I don't know. It's just, when it gets cold, I just want it to stay cold. I hate this up and down shit. And it's so it's like it was in the 50s today, or low 50s. And on Friday, Thursday or Friday, it's going to be like 18 degrees. So, yeah, really just absolutely love that.
It just sucks. This inclement weather just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
I would honestly rather it be 15 degrees for 3 months straight than have it be like 20, then 55, then 19, then 57. And it's my body can't take it.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Other than that, I'm doing okay.
Good. Yeah, I'm not really have anything great to report on. I'm doing some 3D printing. We jumped into the first quest of the Return of the Witch Lord, and everybody really enjoyed it. That was on Sunday. So we're recording this on Monday. There've been some news points that we're going to talk about in a little bit, PlayStation related. We also are going to talk about maybe like some gifts. We're going to do some predictions for maybe the Video Game Awards coming up here soon. Maybe what we think we might see, maybe we won't see. But we're also going to talk about some PlayStation gifts. And there's nothing out of the crazy or ordinary. But for people maybe just hopping into the hobby or the ecosystem, might be a nice little guide for folks. And maybe some talks about those items. But, dude, I don't know. This is like related but not, but we kind of were talking about a Christmas song, a new Christmas song. I talked to Nate, and he's really busy right now, but I tried to give him a prod to get the drums done for that, and he's interested, but I think he's overwhelmed at the moment. But I also had a dream. I think it's a dream, but I can't find the email, but I very vividly remember getting an email that was proffering Fred Oakman and the Flood to perform an hour-long set somewhere for $1,500. And I can't find the email. I've checked. I have so many different ways to, like, that'd be great money for us because we're not a cover band. But dude, I looked all over, and they could have written on Facebook Messenger. They could have written me directly on Instagram. They could have written an email. They could have written an email to my personal email account. They could have written me through my website. They could have written me on Facebook Messenger to my music account. I went through everything this morning because I swore it was real. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. I'm going to have to let the band know. And I can't find it anywhere. So I think it was a dream.
There's sure no fucking way anyone offered $1,500 for us to play 1 hour.
No, it was like, oh, we really wanted to have you last year. Sorry we didn't connect, but, to make it up, we wanted to offer you this. There could have been like some sort of Thunder in the City thing. I don't even know. Like, it was a dream, obviously, but like, it made sense this morning when I had woken up. It was actually kind of funny. I was in the shower thinking about it. I was like, did that fucking happen or not? Like, it was weird. I don't think it did. I have a lot of show offers just shooting out at me. And the one I sent you guys today, about the June 6th thing, that was sitting in my inbox for like 2-3 days before I sent it to you guys today. Like, I'd written the guy back, but I didn't write you guys to see. Just so much shit. Yeah. It's hard to keep up with. Trying to think if there's any... my muffler. Update on that. The exhaust. Remember I was talking about that last episode? What happened? Mm-hmm. $100. They welded it. They cut it off and welded in a new piece for me. Rocking and rolling. I have a new issue with my car, though. And the ABS light and the brake light are now lit simultaneously. And everywhere online indicates when that happens, it's a corroded ABS sensor on one of your back wheels. And it can cause problems. It can cause the ABS to kick in when it doesn't need to. And it can cause them not to work when you need them to work. So that's a big fucking expensive fix. It's almost time. It's almost time for me to get rid of Yar Binks. I don't know. I don't want to do it.
Did you look up how much an ABS sensor is?
Well, I think...
Or are you just assuming that it's expensive?
No, people said it was a big fix. A lot of people were trying to do it at home, and they're like, I can't figure out how to pull the thing off, and I don't know. I think it's an issue. Anyways, I heard it was big enough. That was on Reddit, but who knows what fucking Reddit knows, dude. Outside of that, breaking news, they just... can I just say a couple things real quick? About the news real quick, and we'll get into PlayStation news in 1 second. You saw the crazy assassination that happened in New York?
You're talking about the United Healthcare guy?
Yeah, the CEO guy?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it, but I didn't read a whole lot into it.
Yeah, right. You heard about the guy writing the words on the shells that were ejected?
I did see something about that, but I don't remember exactly what he wrote. He
was desist, depose, and something else. So it was clearly a hit on a healthcare guy. But then it's just this is fucking wild because it was in broad nighttime in a New York City street. And I was like, I've been following this. And I'm like, man, this is so weird. They eventually pulled some video where they had the guy's face. You could see his face. He lifted his mask. He was staying at a hostel. He lifted his mask because one of the rules of the hostel is they need to see your face. And they pulled video of that. And they put out this APB worldwide, U.S. wide. Well, listen to this shit. Today, they caught him. Mm-hmm. He was in Altoona. Altoona, fucking Pennsylvania. I played a show there recently. Yeah. That's crazy. Remember that story, listeners? Yeah, go ahead.
It's funny that they saw him. How do they... I guess it was, literally broadcast everywhere, that picture of his face.
Yeah.
So, people probably would recognize him.
And there was only a $10,000 reward. $10,000, that's it? This guy was a multi-billionaire or something. The family couldn't offer up $100,000 or something to catch this fucker? $10,000?
Maybe if it went on a little bit longer, but it only went on a few days. So
yeah, some McDonald's employee ID'd him. Called the cops. Altoona police scooped him up.
Lucky for them. 10 G's in the pocket.
There was all kinds of... So this is going to segue into a couple of different things real quick before we get on with the PlayStation talk. The gun that he had used was a weird kind of gun. They had speculated it was a veterinarian's pistol, which they say assassins will use because of the way it uses. I don't know the way they use it or whatever. I don't know. It can be really quiet.
For killing livestock and stuff.
Yeah. They thought he used that, and when they got him today, he had a ghost gun on him that looked just like it. So it was a 3D printed gun, which is fucking wild. So that's going to bring about all kinds of new shit. I mean, it's already illegal to make that shit, but I'm just waiting for them to legitimately outlaw 3D printers.
Oh, they can't. That's one of those things that's like, you can't outlaw something like that, but you can maybe outlaw
well, a lot of people get killed with
make
those guns.
it, you know, like for example, probably what they'll do is like they did with all the the meth shit and everything, is like the types of plastics and shit that you would use to 3D print a gun. Those will now be like controlled material that has to be yeah. So like it won't be that you can buy a 3D printer. But if you want the type of plastic that's strong enough to make like a pistol out of or whatever, you have to get it through a regulated place, and it'll be taxed and all this other bullshit. Kind of like with
get your
with
name,
the whole
your address.
Yeah, kind of like the whole meth thing where it's like now you have to go to the pharmacy to buy decongestants.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. It sucks, but we've been kind of hearing about 3D printed guns for a while now. It's just crazy that it's a thing.
Yeah. So that's what this dude, allegedly used. And the other thing I want to say is, dude, you know how many fucking people get killed in the world, in the U.S. every day? So many people get murdered where there's leads, never makes the fucking news headlines. The only reason it did was because it was an interesting story, because it's on video. And this guy was a millionaire, whatever, ahead of his, whatever. He had money. He was a rich dude, right? So it's just like, fuck, man. You know, why is this guy...
It was a political murder, so I guess that kind of has something to do with it.
Was it political? I think it's more morality based. You know, I think.
Well, do you think he just like picked a dude and killed him?
No.
Sure
Apparently, he had
some opinions on healthcare.
He had a 3-page letter, handwritten letter that they recovered when they detained him in Altoona, and they have his ID, so they looked onto his internet history and stuff, and I said, but things that they could tie to him, you know, and he was writing a lot of weird shit. Like, I guess he read the book by the Unabomber or something, and had some comments on Goodreads about how, you know, don't overlook this as like, I'm paraphrasing, of course, of like just some sort of ideology of a madman. You know, this guy's actually pretty intelligent. He's writing about Ted Kaczynski, you know what I mean? Like the fucking Unabomber. Yeah. He's like, this guy's actually really smart. Yes, you know, it's like, what? So anyways, this guy clearly wasn't quite right, but he is supposed to be pretty intelligent. So it's just, it's creepy. And the other thing is apparently there was a woman who was there when he killed this guy, and she saw it happen and said that, like, he didn't even look twice at her. Like, he had one target. He wasn't trying to hurt anybody else. It was just this dude. So it clearly was like intent. It wasn't like your fucking mass shootings that happen, and which we're so used to seeing and hearing about, right? Unfortunately, it was like this very specific hit that seemed like it came out of a fucking movie, but was real life. It's just so wild. But Altoona police are going to junk everything up. They're going to arrest him on having a ghost gun. So he's got to get detained and have his deposition on that before they can take him to New York for the murder trial, or the murder conviction, or whatever charges. So he's fucking stuck in Altoona right now while they fucking do their petty ass ghost gun charges. They should just hand him over.
I would imagine
since extradite him now.
I would imagine since he carried a weapon across state lines that it would become a federal case.
Oh,
but
I think it will. But they got to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's I don't want to say it sounds weird to say that it's awesome, but I like the fact that that they caught this person, and it's not like a typical every time something like this happens, it's always like the person commits suicide, or they get shot by the police, or something like that. Or a cop
gets shot, or someone gets hurt, or
yeah. It's like, no, yes, it's very, very bad that he murdered somebody. Don't want that to happen. But it's also like, good job for everybody to actually like catch the dude without having just gunning him down in the street or something like the Wild West.
Yeah, and
I'd be curious to see what comes out of it, to be honest with you.
They were also saying like good on the McDonald's employee for turning them in, you know.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't believe the vitriol that was coming up on anything, on the video of this, on the news stories of this on YouTube. Like instantly people were just like, fuck the man, you know. And then they were like, you know, people aren't recognized as a hero sometimes in their lifetime and stuff. They just people supporting this guy's actions. It's like, fuck, man, you should never fucking just murder somebody like that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Why would you feel just?
Yeah.
I get that our healthcare is in a fucking bad way, but killing that dude's not going to fucking solve anything or send any message, really. You know, it's like, wow, all right, cool. You just ruined your life and a lot of other people's. Anyways.
Yeah, and for all you know, that was like, for all you know, I mean, just because that guy worked for
he was
the
like
healthcare
the CEO,
system.
he was like the head guy,
But just because he was a CEO of United Healthcare doesn't mean that he wasn't a good dude.
Yeah, maybe he was working on some shit on the inside to try to make things better. You don't fucking know, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, people do what they can to like be successful and you know, make a living for their families and everything. And it's like, yeah, that guy got to the tippy top, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a piece of shit. He deserves to die.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just wild, man. It just goes to show that anybody can take a stance about anything on anybody doing anything. You know, you could believe.
Yeah, everybody needs to fucking take a chill pill.
That'd be like saying that like you don't believe in landfills and just killing the head of your local waste management company. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, why? Like, I don't even fucking understand how that would even help anything. Anyways.
Yeah.
We're probably going to get banned because I said the word kill or something. But it doesn't matter. It was just making a comparison.
Yeah, we're not monetized anyway. Who cares?
Yeah, no one gives a shit. All right. So, I don't even have my tablet. Oh, here it is. Recording this Monday. The episodes air every Wednesday for non-patrons. If you're a patron of the show, you can get the episodes a day early. It's the best we can do. We can't always do it. We try to. But how about we hop into games that we're playing, Jake? I don't remember exactly what all I talked about last time. I know I said I was playing Darkest Dungeon 2 again and jumping back in The Last of Us Part 2. I'm on day 2 as Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2, and I'm also really struggling on the third. There are 5 bosses, runs that you do in Darkest Dungeon 2 to beat the game. The third one's just kicking my ass right now. And I still love the game, but I'm having trouble with it. And then I'm on chapter 8 of 12 now of Metro Awakening. And so I'm only really 4 away from the end. And it's really good. I got to this really creepy spot recently, and that was interesting. I will say that I had 2 friends of mine, Ralph and Grady, during the Hero Quest Sunday. They stayed afterwards, try VR. And Ralph is a gamer, and he really wanted to try one of the Resident Evil games in VR. He had never done VR before. And I'm like, dude, I think this is going to be a little much for you, but we can try it. So we started him off with the weapon training, and he was really having a hard time, like just the coordination, because it does feel weird when you're in that world. But then Grady jumped in the game and played the beginning of Resident Evil. I think it was 4, the one with the chainsaw guy in the beginning. And he got in there and he had played it before, but he was doing really well. And then when his position was compromised and everybody started coming at him, he was like, "Take this off. I can't do this." And I was like, "All right, I'll take it off." So, but they tried it and they both had a good time. And it's interesting. It's always fun to show people VR. You know, it's always fun. But so that's really been my bout with games this week. But how about you?
I beat Black Ops 6. So I'm done with that. The campaign is really good. Even though, like I mentioned before, it goes some directions that I don't particularly care for thematically in these types of games, it's still very good. It still plays very well. I still recommend it to people who are even interested in Call of Duty. If you have Game Pass and you can play it for free, by all means. I do think that it's pretty... The always online aspect of Black Ops 6 is really fucking annoying. I hate that that's like a facet of reality now with these types of games. They've just kind of said fuck it, where even though this is a single player game, we're just gonna require you be online and be up to date and all this other crap. Because like when I finished it yesterday, a couple days ago, it had been like 5 or 6 days since I'd played it, and it took me probably 10 minutes to get into the game because it was like it has to load the Call of Duty launcher, and then the Call of Duty launcher has to update, and that takes 5 minutes, and then I have to reload it. And then once that reloads, it launches into Black Ops 6, and then Black Ops 6 has to update, and then I have to reload that, and then I have to load into the map that I was playing, and like it's just, I don't know, it just seems kind of stupid to me. But that said, I still think it's worth the play. I really enjoyed it. Other than that, I think I'm pretty close to the end of Metaphor, so I am still playing that. I'm like 70 hours into it, and it's talking like I'm getting towards the end of the game, but who knows? It could be like a red herring. It's kind of hard to say.
It's a faint...
But I feel like I remember them saying that it was like 80 hours long, so I should be closing in on the end. And that's pretty much it. I didn't play any more Half-Life this week. I actually didn't play a whole lot last week because I had to go into work early, like basically every day, and I was working long hours. So I didn't really play a whole lot of games. I just played some this weekend.
That's okay.
That's pretty much it for me.
Cool. Well, let's get into the show topic. We usually don't have show topics. We got show topics today with the advent of Christmas coming on, the holidays coming on. I told Jake, I said it might be a pretty good idea to just kind of comb over maybe some gift ideas for the PlayStation universe. These are all really pretty basic. You might have a couple outside the box ideas here, but for the most part, I wanted to run through this maybe for new listeners, anyone that might find the video on YouTube or anything, and also for maybe some of our listeners who might be looking into getting into some other things, PlayStation. So, couple recommendations. The first thing. Hold on, let me write this down. We're so 45. All right. The first thing I have here is obviously the obvious gift, and a gift that could change somebody's life, maybe for that person or someone nearest or dearest to you, or who wants to maybe get into gaming but doesn't have a system or know how to. Obvious recommendation, the PS5 or the PS5 Pro. Right now at Walmart, Jake, you can get the digital version of the PS5 for $374. This seems really low to me. Also, you can pick up the disc console of the PS5 for $424, and then if you want to go balls to the wall, the PS5 Pro retails at $699. But honestly, if you got a kid and they don't have a system, and maybe you have a little extra money or something, and you want to get into PlayStation or something like that, any of those would be a great option. Most games that you buy these days can all be purchased on the PSN, so the online store. You can also pick up video game discs at your brick and mortar stores. The Pro is just essentially a souped up version of either of those two. But I would be just fine if I were a kid and I got a digital console for Christmas. That would be awesome. Or if you want a second one, even. You know?
Yeah, I think it's pretty rad that you can get the digital version of the console for essentially $375. I mean, you don't need fucking discs anyway. They just take up space in your house. Mm-hmm. Just buy all digital games anyway, and then yeah, I mean, you can get in. That's as cheap as it's been for a long time. Not saying it won't be cheaper in the future, but if you're looking to upgrade or you're looking to buy for someone, I would say that's the way to go. I mean, and if you really want to have physical media, then yeah, you can get the disc version. But I don't know that I'm going to recommend the Pro because I don't have any experience with it. and I don't
Yeah.
think that it's not reduced at all. You're still paying $700 for that.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in just grabbing a new PS5 or a second one, or maybe one of the new slim ones that you can take on the road with you for less than $400, you can have it.
It's a good idea. Yeah. And then in addition to those, Jake, if you already have a PlayStation 5 and you want to dip your toes into VR, the PlayStation 5 VR 2 bundle right now is $349 online. That's a killer deal. But you have to have a PS5. So if you're looking for a VR thing for your nearest and dearest or your loved one, just know that you can't just use the VR 2. You got to have a Sony console or a computer with the dongle. So it won't work standalone unless maybe your loved one's looking for a headset to work with their computer. But then you'd have to buy that PC dongle, which Jake has one of those. And that's how you're playing Half-Life Alyx right now. But
Yep.
Dude, what do you think about the price point for VR2 now? Like, do you think it's worth $349?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on your persuasion. I mean, if you don't want to play
Persuasion.
if you don't want to play any of, you have to have a certain expectation. Not every game that you play on it is going to be Gran Turismo. It's not going to be fucking Resident Evil. So if you're into having a variety of experiences and you just are interested in the platform, then yeah, I think 350 is a good set price point. My brother just bought one and for 350. And he was telling me that he was getting kind of nauseous playing Call of the Mountain. But I told him, I don't know, you might have to get used to it, cuz I know like I got pretty nauseous playing VR games with free movement until I just kind of forced myself to learn how to do it, to get used to it in Resident Evil Village. And once I did, like I still get a little queasy from time to time, but generally I don't have much of a problem playing it. But I think there are enough experiences now, like even if you just include the 2 Resident Evil games, Gran Turismo, the new Metro game, that new Behemoth game that came out. I told Josh to check out Thumper. You got Beat Saber. All these games, like I think all those games alone,
Kayak
Switchback
Mirage,
VR if you're into that,
Resident Evil
Kayak.
games.
There's probably enough there to justify a $350 purchase. But if you're really, running by the skin of your teeth, or you want something that's a little more casual, you may be better off buying something like a MetaQuest, or maybe not buying a VR at all. But I think it's probably worth $350 for sure if you don't already have one.
Yeah, if you're interested in it, now's a pretty good price point for it. And with the recent commercial, Sony's pushing the VR2 still. I don't think they have any intention on slowing it down per se. So I mean, they haven't quite supported it as strong as their PS5, but I mean, it still is getting some love from Sony. So yeah, very cool. And if you have a friend or family member who has a PS5 but wants to be more mobile with it, for $199, and the ability to stream PlayStation games with the streaming beta for members of PS Plus Premium, the Portal would be a great option. It'd be a great gift for any kid. Just remember, though, it's not going to run games natively on its own. So much like the PSVR, this is an accessory to the PlayStation 5. Now, I wonder, Jake, do you know if you have the streaming beta? It is a beta. It's not rolled out ever. You gotta sign up for it or whatever, and they give it to you. But if you sign up for the PlayStation streaming beta and you are a PS Plus Premium member, do you need a PS5 to stream these games?
I don't know that you do. I think you should be able to just do it.
It could be standalone, but with a yearly subscription.
Yeah. If you got the streaming stuff enabled, for sure.
That's kind of cool. So, who knows?
It is, but, I mean, you have to have good internet and good location. You have to be close enough to one of these servers that you're not having appreciable latency and stuff like that. But if you're just into, like, turn-based games and stuff, it would probably be just fine.
Yeah, it'd be pretty dope, I think. So, that being said, Jake, you can't really go wrong with signing your loved one up for a PS Plus. And there are 3 different tiers of subscriptions for PlayStation Plus. Jake and I believe are both PS Plus Extra members. You might just be regular Essential. I don't know. But each offering has different things that you can get depending on the gamer and the gamer's needs. So Essential runs $80 a year. That's going to give you 3 PlayStation games every month. And what else is that going to do? I like to play online, some cloud storage. PS Plus Extra is what I have. It's $135 a year. I honestly think this is the best value because the library has up to 400 games that you can play for free, and then you still get your additional free monthly games, cloud storage, and the ability to play online. And then lastly, Premium is like streaming some older classics in addition to everything else I already talked about. Jake, what are you? Are you Essential or are you Extra?
I'm subscribed to Extra.
Okay. Yeah, same here. Yeah. I don't know the last time I played a game using the 400 games available on the library. I haven't fucking done it at all.
It's been a little bit for me too. I mean, I usually play a couple games a year off of there. It's probably not worth it for me to have the service, if I'm being completely honest with you. I could probably have Essential and be totally fine.
Yeah.
But usually 2 or 3 times a year, there's something on there that strikes my fancy that I really want to play.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not really a whole lot more than the 80 you'd be paying.
But
otherwise.
if you're new to PlayStation and you haven't played a lot of these games and stuff, Extra is a huge... If you're not necessarily interested in being up to date and you like playing the newest games and you just want to catch up on old stuff and get familiar with the system, Extra is amazing. And Premium's even better, but I'm not convinced yet that Premium is worth the extra price.
Right. Number 5 I have on this list. If you're not looking to break the bank, pick up an extra controller or maybe a docking station or something. That could be nice. So I have some suggestions here. Walmart's running deals on the DualSense controller. It's the regular controller that comes with PlayStation 5. Remember, if you buy the console, it only comes with 1 controller, but you can pick up an additional one. Last I checked on Walmart, you could get one for $54, which is a great deal right now. I think they retail for close to $70. So they must be running Christmas deals or something. Yeah. So also,
I think they're 70, anywhere between like 70 and 85, depending on which one you're getting. Mm-hmm. And I think that I think a lot of the colors are actually 60 on sale, but like some of the more basic colors are 55.
Yeah.
If I didn't just buy the 30th anniversary one, I'd probably buy the all black one. That's $55 right now because I think it's kind of cool looking. Yeah. But I will say, I was looking at the because you could also get the all black side panels for the original PS5.
Oh yeah,
and which I think would be kind of cool. But dude, even on sale, $45 seems like a lot to me. So for a couple of plastic panels, so I won't be doing that. But I am interested.
Yeah. I think I have that on this list somewhere. But so also you can pick up a VR2 headset charging station for $40 online, depending on where you pick it up at. But there's some nice little things. I 3D printed mine. It's nice. It took a while to dial it in, but I got it working. And then lastly, they also make DualSense charging stations, and you can probably score one of these for about $30. Maybe not straight from Sony or Sony whatever branded, but I'm pretty sure at this point they all have been dialed in and they work. And then, if there's some outside the box thinking for your gaming friends or family, you can always buy those console covers Jake was talking about to give your console a different look. I think on the Sony website, they run for $50. So, I don't know. It would be cool to have. That white and black look is just awful. I don't like the white and black.
I mean, I'm fine with it. It's just so big and obtrusive. Like, I feel like if it was black, it would be a little bit more out of the way, visually speaking.
Yeah.
You're
probably right. And then we got 3 left here for the holiday gift guide for this year. If you need extra space, I'm a big advocate of this. You can pick up additional internal memory starting at like $150. Do your research though, because some won't be compatible with the PlayStation 5. But I have this, and I personally went with the Western Digital Black 2 terabyte expansion, and it was super easy to install, and it is given my PlayStation a little extra room for downloading and keeping games, so I don't have to keep deleting stuff and re-downloading stuff. So, Jake, you didn't install any internal extra hard drive space, did you, on yours?
No, I honestly feel like unless you're someone who plays a bunch of live service games that are like 150 gig installs, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary. Unless you have really poor internet and it takes you forever to download games. But if it's like, I have just the base SSD, and I think right now I have like 8 or 9 games installed. So it's like, do you really need more than that on your PS5? Now, like I said, if you're like a Call of Duty guy or you're like a Destiny guy and you've got like one game taking up 200 gigs, okay, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But if you just got like literally 25 games that are like 10 to 30 gigabytes, it's like, I mean, come on, bro. You're not playing all those games. Just fucking delete some.
Well, the reason I got it is that the VR games are nice to have just ready at the ready. I'm not playing them very often.
That is true. I agree with you there.
So I don't want to have to re-download a VR game when I want to sit down and fuck with it for a little bit. But I also don't want to buy it and then just not have it ready when I feel like it, because it's already a pain in the ass to put the headset on and stuff. So I just want it available, and those do take up a bit of space. So
yeah,
I think that's why I essentially got it. But lastly, games, gift cards. PSN gift cards are a great gift, and if you're looking for games, there are plenty out there. Just be sure, don't buy something that your loved one already has. And if you want to steer clear from the tech side of things, Jake, there are plenty of PlayStation marketed clothing, mugs, posters, toys. You can just always pick that shit up online anywhere. Figure out what games your people like, and I'm sure there's something out there for them if you're looking for something game specific. So that being said, I don't think I have anything here. I have this little Space Invaders guy here. That's not Sony, but hey, that little guy there. I don't think I have anything Sony related, actually. Oh, hold on. Here, I do. I don't know where this came from, but I have a Nathan Drake pop guy just sitting by my speaker. I don't know. I don't really collect that kind of shit, but it might have been a gift. I don't know where the fuck I got him. So let's get in with the news. Every episode.
Hold the fuck on.
Do you want to say something? You got something
write
to say?
This list out. You asked me to look for.
You didn't write anything. There's nothing on the notes. I didn't know you actually fucking did
just
anything.
Because I did put it on the notes doesn't mean I didn't.
Hold on,
do
Jake's pulling his notepad out.
So here's the thing. My one beef about the way that you did this is that you didn't include a single fucking game.
Yeah, I didn't.
And so I have some suggestions on the game front, because I agree with you on everything else. If you're just looking for stocking stuffers and fun hardware and things like that, wholeheartedly agree with everything that Fred has mentioned so far.
It's hard to recommend a game.
I just got some things that I love that are on sale that I feel like everybody should take a look at. These are all things that are on sale, not just like random ass stuff that you should pay full price for.
All right, let's hear it.
Hogwarts Legacy, the digital deluxe edition, is on sale for $20 right now.
Wow.
I've talked a lot about how much I like this game. If you're not a Harry Potter fan, you don't give a shit about Harry Potter, you might not like it. But I think that even still, if you're not a Harry Potter fan, there might be something there for you. I mentioned in the past, one of the things I really like about it is that it's super approachable to people even who don't play games. There's like a mode in it where, like, if you're really struggling with the controls and stuff, it's not super punishing and you can kind of ease your way into it, which I really appreciate, given that it's a licensed game. But I think it's great, and for $20, definitely worth it. Next one, and Fred, you'll appreciate this. The Witcher 3 is $8. So if you've never played The Witcher 3 and you like Western RPGs and you can scrounge up enough pennies in your couch, buy The Witcher 3, because that game is fucking awesome. It's a little long. I'll give you that. It's a little long, but there's a lot of bang for your buck there. especially with The Witcher 4 is going to be coming out here in another probably couple years. So if you want to kind of dip your toe into that world, The Witcher 3 is definitely the way to do it. I don't remember if that includes the DLC or not.
Okay.
But even the base game has a ton of content, so definitely worth your while.
Yeah. That's true.
For my JRPG friends out there, Persona 4 Golden for $10. This is the console port, not the original PS Vita version.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've talked on the show before about how I liked Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5, and now I'm really liking Metaphor ReFantazio. If you're interested in like dipping a toe, I've used that phrase twice already. If you're interested in getting into JRPGs and you want something a little classic but a little kind of awesome, Persona 4 Golden for $10 is a pretty good deal. Even better deal. Now this game won't be for everybody, but Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is a first-person role-playing game. Think of it like Skyrim, but realistic. So there's no dragons, there's no magic. It's all historically accurate. The combat is historically accurate. The time period, the ethnicities, everything. It's a really cool game. Their slogan when they were coming out was "Dungeons and No Dragons," which is kind of a cool little slogan. But $4 right now.
Wow.
So, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is coming out like soon, like in a couple months.
$4 where?
So, on the PlayStation Store.
All right.
All this is on the PlayStation Store. This is all digital purchases. So yeah, I actually am thinking about jumping back in because I played it when it came out and I liked it, but it was a little janky for me. But I think that they fixed a lot of it, so I might jump back into it. It's a really interesting game. Just expect some Eurojank when you play it, but it is still very cool. Just two more here. In my personal opinion, one of the best first-person shooter campaigns of all time, Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition, $6. So if you have not played Titanfall 2, it's worth $6 just to play that campaign. It's so fucking good. It's rad. And then the last one here, I've talked ad nauseum about this game. Immortals Phoenix Rising is on sale for $12. I think that game is great. I know a lot of people think it's a little bit trite, and some people think that it copies Breath of the Wild a little bit too much. And I say that, whether or not you think that, I think that it's a very fun game. I like it a lot more than Zelda, if I'm being completely honest with you. I didn't like Breath of the Wild all that much, but I really liked Immortals of Avium. I just like the content matter. I like the delivery of everything, especially with the female protagonist. I think her delivery was really good. So, yeah, that's all I have. I just wanted to throw some games out there because we talk all this talk about hardware, but you got to have something to play on it. You dig?
I dig. Hell yeah. Thanks for doing that. You didn't have the notes in the notes. I didn't even know that you had a list. That's why I kept rolling.
I was doing this on my phone. I was doing this on my phone today, and I didn't think to put it in there.
I wasn't trying to throw you off your balance. All right, let's get into the news here. So the couple news points, 6 news points, and we'll be out of your hair for the day. And the first one, not much to report on this, but the Machine Games title, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, is getting some very good reviews at the moment. While the game isn't available on PS5 at the moment, it is scheduled to release on PS5 and will be available on Xbox and PC first. So, how do you feel about this game? Is your interest waning or is it festering? Are you going to pick this up, do you think, Jake? Games Pass?
Yeah. Because I do have Game Pass, so I'm him-hawing because probably the better version of it will be to play it on PS5. But then I'll have to wait until probably 6 months to play it. But I could play it now on my Series S. From what I understand, it still runs pretty good. It just doesn't look nearly as good. So like it's a lower resolution stuff. But a lot of times I don't see that shit anyway. So I don't know. I'm him-hawing about. I do want to play it. It's just whether or not I want to play it now or wait and play it on PlayStation. I could play it on my PC, I guess, but I'm not a big fan of playing on my PC because it forces me to sit upstairs in my computer room rather than kind of chilling on the couch. So, but yeah, I am definitely interested in this.
Yeah, good reviews, so that's good. That's good. And I wanted to, because I mentioned it last episode, I wanted to bring it up this episode. I said we would maybe talk about this week. The Video Game Awards 2024 is happening on December 12th. So we're recording this on the 9th. So Thursday. So our podcast will come out on Wednesday. So I thought it might be fun to maybe talk about what we think might happen. Or what we would hope to see or anything like that. And just some quick speculation, Jake, and then we'll get into a broader conversation maybe about it. But my first question here for us is, are we going to see a trailer or teaser for a new Naughty Dog game? Do you think this is possible?
I mean, you would think it's been so fucking long. It's been 4 years, 4.5 years since The Last of Us 2 came out.
They're going to have
We haven't seen
ahead.
anything from them. So I would hope that we see something. Maybe not here, but soon.
I think that they're probably repurposing a lot of the map that they had for factions. So I bet you they could probably get a trailer together, at least a cinematic thing with gameplay, but like with cool camera angles, actual gameplay, but like recorded with. I'm not saying a gameplay video where you're watching them play the game, but like in-game captures, or maybe just like something cinematic. I remember when they released The Last of Us, they just had.
So you think maybe like something like I could see them maybe doing something like remember The Last of Us Part II reveal trailer where it was just like a sign and like some dog tags or some shit and some music. Like it wasn't anything really.
I remember the fake out that they did when they were teasing The Last of Us Part II, where Ellie's out and about and then she gets grabbed from behind and someone puts her hand over her mouth and says, "You didn't really think I'd let you do this alone." It was Joel.
Yeah.
Do you remember that trailer?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, and that wasn't in the game. Yeah,
It was, but it wasn't, right? So they faked.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I would hope. I mean, I don't know this for a fact. Maybe they'll just do The Last of Us Part 3 and get it over with. But I would think I would be interested in seeing something new from them. If I'm being completely honest. Yeah. If they're going to announce something, I'd like to see something new.
I would be so stoked to get another Uncharted at this point. They got to compete with maybe Indiana Jones or I don't know, man. I would be fine with Last of Us 3 also. Just let them wrap it up. You know what I mean? I just hope that it's not like a 40 fucking hour game.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing I have, I don't think that this is likely, but I had to put it on here. Do we think that we're going to see or hear anything about Grand Theft Auto 6?
Possibly. I mean, it's coming out next year sometime, and we haven't heard anything from them in a while, so it's incredibly possible.
Okay. I'm going to say no to that, just because I don't think they got to use the Video Games Awards as a platform. I mean, they have probably the most highest replayed trailer of 2024 for sure already, and they did it all on their own. They probably don't need this to get in front of others. So they'll do it whenever they're damn well ready, unless they have some sort of deal with the VGA. But if they want to generate some talk, that would be a cool way to do it, And then let me ask this. What about Sony first-party studios? Are we going to see anything from Blue Point, Sony Bend, anything like that? My guess is that we are definitely going to see more of Ghost of Yote.
I don't know about that, but I definitely think that we'll see something from them.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that we see. We talked about Naughty Dog already, but like what's Sony Bend doing, or like you said, Blue Point, or even Media Molecule or something like that, or maybe even like maybe even something Horizon related, because there's like 15 Horizon games in development.
Well, oh, you know what?
I
Here's something
don't
that's
know.
not first party, but I was thinking because I don't think it's been canceled. And this is this fucking huge stretch, and we'll get to news point later why I think this is a stretch. But how rad would it be to get like the Division 3 trailer? I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's entirely possible. I mean, Ubisoft's got to get some kind of a win here. I mean, it seems like they're really struggling right now. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see. Seems like it might be a little bit of a banger this year,
I think it is.
but it's hard to say.
Man, things have been festering just under the under the lid. I just want to pull
We've been
that.
saying that forever, so who knows? I mean, one thing's for sure. I'm just gonna tell the audience right now. I'm sorry, but I'm not watching that whole fucking show. I'll watch all of the trailers and the recaps and look up the winners and all of that stuff from the show the next day and everything. But dude, those shows are like 4 hours long.
Yeah, yeah, they are really
And
long.
I don't have time for it. But I am excited for what comes out of it for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Jake, once again, we know who the Game of the Year nominees are. Do you want to cast your vote for the Game of the Year? And I'll do mine as well. The nominees are Astrobot, Metaphor ReFantazio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Black Myth Wukong, Balatro, and or is it Balatro? Balatro maybe. And then Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree. It's not a great list. I only have played one of the games, so by default, Astrobot gets my vote.
Astrobot?
Yep. I don't think it's going to win, but that's the only game I played.
I could get behind that, but my gut says Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That's what my gut says, too.
I think, like, of the games that I played, I don't know, though. There wasn't really much, like, other than being frustrated by how hard some of the levels were, there really wasn't a single moment in Astrobot where I was, like, bored with it. But there were definitely moments, like, in the middle of Final Fantasy VII where it was just, like, there's so much to do. Why is this game so long? You know what I mean? So, but the highs, I think, from a build and narrative and scope perspective were a bit higher than Astrobot. But if you want to talk about pure fun, I think that of all these games, I would argue, I've never played Balatro, maybe it's fun, but I would argue that Astrobot is the most fun of all of these games.
Okay. So you're going Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'll stick with Astrobot.
Yeah.
I think you're going to win that one. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to definitely see some more shit for Death Stranding 2 and possibly get a release date.
Probably because Jeff Keighley and Hideo Kojima are buddies. I mean, that makes total sense that he would be there. Maybe we'll get... If we get a release date, that would be cool. I would hope... I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the first half of the year, but that would be kind of neat. Or maybe like a summer release.
That'd be awesome.
I'm definitely interested in it.
I hope it's not like 2026.
I'm more interested in... What's that?
They're gonna announce a release date. Maybe they got 2026. They're gonna push it out or something, or say like...
It's possible. I mean,
Anything's
it's entirely possible that it gets pushed, but I'll be honest with you, I'm a lot more interested in the story of that game than the gameplay. But we'll have to see. I mean, it looks like maybe there's a little bit more action in this one, so that would definitely entice me to get back into it pretty quickly.
Yeah, that would definitely be an exciting announcement. And then the last three things I want to bring up, and then we can have a quick open discussion about anything else you might think we might see, Jake. My question is, are we going to maybe see a taste of Resident Evil 9?
I hope so, or even like one of the next remake, whether it's Code Veronica or Resident Evil 0 or something like that. Like that would be awesome. I mean, it's been a while since Village came out, so I just hope like after playing Village, I'm such a believer that I hope they make Resident Evil 9 VR compatible.
Oh, they will. It's gonna be so fucking rad. And that if it's announced that VR support will be coming in the future after the game's released, I will wait to play it for my first playthrough in VR because that is it's altering to do that.
Yeah, it would be really, really cool. I could just see like if VR is sort of like slowing down, them not wanting to devote the resources to it. But the last Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, and Resident Evil 4 Remake have all been VR enabled.
Bangers.
So I would hope that they, and I think that they know that people consider the Resident Evil VR modes to be like arguably the
God
best
tier.
VR experience.
Yeah, they really
Like,
are. They're so
I
good.
do think that it rivals Half-Life Alyx, Gran Turismo, like all of these things. They're just so good. So if they come out and they say Resident Evil 9 and they say, PlayStation 5, PlayStation VR 2, I will be more than thrilled.
Here's the other crazy thing about the Resident Evil games in VR. They don't charge extra for the VR version.
Right, which is dope.
It's so fucking awesome because they easily could sell that at like a $20 premium. Easily.
Yeah, for sure.
So props to them. Two quick things. Are we going to see anything about the Wolverine game? I don't think so.
That's one thing that we, I guess, didn't bring up during the discussion about Sony first party is Insomniac.
Right.
And it is entirely possible that they show. I mean, I think they were talking about it coming out next year, but if it is coming out next year, it wouldn't surprise me if it's there.
Yeah.
But if they're not sure about it yet, then it might get pushed.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to
sure.
see anything about it yet. But if we do, I mean, especially with the Deadpool Wolverine movie that just came out this year, I mean, I suppose it is possible. There's a little bit of traction there. And then lastly, this is a no-brainer for me. I can almost guarantee it. Seal of 100% going to happen in the bank. Money in the bag. Hazelight is going to have some sort of fucking announcement. That's all.
Didn't they already announce their next game?
Well, they're going to show it off. I don't know. This is at Joseph Faro's studio. It Takes Two developer Hazelight. They're always involved in the video game awards now. In a very interesting way. They always pull them in for some sort of fucking interview and a big showcase of what they're working on. So,
Split Fiction. Yeah, they're doing that Split Fiction game.
I bet you we see it.
That'd be cool.
It would be cool. I'm calling that shit right now. So let's open the floor up on this video game award conversation, Jake.
Wait. This article that I'm reading is from this month. So they're saying maybe that their next game is going to be announced this month. I don't know.
Well,
We'll just
there
have
you
to
go.
see. I wouldn't be surprised if they're there. I agree with you.
So I'm going to let you pepper the rest of this conversation about the Video Game Award 2024 with anything else you'd like to add, contribute, speculate on, opinions. We know you're not going to watch it.
Yeah. I am. Now I know this is a PlayStation podcast, but I am interested to see if Xbox has anything more to say with some of their games, and if any of them are going to be games that they're going to be releasing on PlayStation. We've already talked about Indiana Jones, but what about games like Perfect Dark or Starfield or Fable or any of these games? Like, do they come out and say that any of these games are coming to PlayStation during this conference? I don't know. I mean, I think that would be kind of terrible optics for them to do that. But as PlayStation gamers, now we can kind of look at everything Xbox announces and sort of be interested in it because it may eventually come to PlayStation. So I am interested in seeing what they have to say, if they have anything to say at all. But because like that Perfect Dark game looks really good. That Clockwork something game that looks like almost like a BioShock-esque kind of experience. It looks pretty cool. Obviously, Fable looks interesting. So, and you have to imagine they're going to release Starfield on PlayStation at some point. But, yeah, so I'm interested from that front. On the PlayStation side, I don't know. Maybe they'll announce a new game with From Software or something. Like maybe something with Bloodborne, or maybe like a Demon's Souls 2 would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But so that's entirely possible. I'm trying to think if there's anything else from. More information / a new trailer on the new Doom game.
Okay.
Doom: The Dark Ages. I could see something like that coming through.
That'd be cool.
So that's pretty much all I got for now. I'm sure there's more.
Judas.
Yeah, I could see that maybe showing up. That'd be awesome, actually. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. I bet you we see something on that, dude.
Very well could be.
All right.
I don't know, maybe this is the year we get Richard 2.
God, fuck, dude. Could you imagine?
Announce the Game Awards.
we willed Space Marines 2 into existence, so just keep your fingers crossed, man. Let's move on to the next news point here. I hope you guys enjoyed that quick discussion about the Video Game Awards 2024. Jake, Black Ops 6 is going to be free to play. I know you're playing the game right now. However, the single player is not going to be available during this free to play week. But if you want to dip your toes in, see what the maps are about, see what's going on, the game is going to be free from December 13th to December 20th. Have you played any of the multiplayer at all?
Nah, I don't really have any. I mean, I thought about like jumping into it, but then I realized that the one thing that is cool about the new Call of Duty launcher is that you can install just the multiplayer, or you can install just the campaign. And when I realized that the multiplayer was like 80 gigs, I just said fuck it, and I just uninstalled it.
Right.
Because the Xbox Series S only has like a 500 gig hard drive. So that was half the installation. So I just uninstalled the multiplayer. And I'm not going to reinstall it just to try it, because I'm just not a multiplayer gamer. But people really love Call of Duty. They really love the Black Ops. It seems like they really like the Black Ops 6 multiplayer. So if you're even remotely interested, download it and give it a try, because the gameplay is fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. The shooting and everything is really good in it.
I'm sure.
So, as
really
always with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost the best at it. I would say Destiny's really good too for first-person shooting.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so another quick news point. This one is kind of interesting. This game comes up occasionally on our podcast. It was for a long time. We were playing it in VR, but we've touched a bit on Gran Turismo before, and just so the listeners know, there's a free Gran Turismo game called My First Gran Turismo. Essentially, news outlets are saying that this is a demo of Gran Turismo 7, but the game's free, and it includes events, time trials, license tests, races, tracks. It can be played using VR2, which is awesome because the game is absolutely amazing in VR. So if you have a VR headset, you don't have Gran Turismo 7, you want to try it out in VR2, this is a way to do it for free. So My First Gran Turismo supports VR2. Jake, anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a VR headset and you've heard the hubbub about Gran Turismo, but you're not a racing fan and you don't necessarily want to spend the money, it is even if you're not a car guy, it is 100% worth the free download just to do a few races.
It's mandatory.
It is so fucking cool in VR. Even if you're not, I'm a racing fan, so it is especially cool to me. But even if you aren't, like, I've heard of a lot of people who aren't racing fans playing it and being like, this is really cool. So, yeah, give it a go. For free, hell yeah.
Cool. All right. 2 more news topics. And this one, I kind of had a cool idea for the show just now. I don't know where my great ideas come from. I'll bring it up at the end of the closing here. But Ubisoft has effectively shut down their first-person shooter XDefiant. Ubisoft is no longer accepting new players. The 3rd season of content is still going to launch for existing players in the game, but no content will be purchasable in the in-game store. This is most likely due to legal obligations. The game was a free-to-play title And I'd imagine with the things looming over Ubisoft, including a potential buyout from Tencent and initial poor reception of the title, that they just can't dump the money into this game to see if it's going to take hold. Refunds are being offered to players who purchased the Ultimate Founders Pack and other bundles. Refunds are also being processed through the PS Store. With this announcement, Ubisoft San Francisco and Ubisoft Osaka will be closing, and up to 277 people stand to lose employment, with half the team who worked on XDefiant moving to other Ubisoft projects. It's fucking wild.
What's fucking crazy to me is that they can lay off 277 people, and that's like literally 1.5% of their staff.
Yeah, they're fucking enormous.
That's how many people work for Ubisoft. And it sucks, obviously, that people are going to be losing their jobs. I don't know, like, this game appears to have gotten more traction than I thought it would. Like, I thought it was going to be much more dead on arrival than it was, but there are a lot of people that seem to have enjoyed what they played. It's just not competitive enough in that space for them to keep spending money on it and keep it alive. So it sounds like they're going to shut it down, write it off, and move on. I honestly don't know why these. I mean, I know why, because they're trying to make money, but like it seems like some of these decisions that these companies make are just so ill-founded. Like I feel like these are the types of games where it's like you should put a survey out there to the internet and be like, what type of multiplayer online free-to-play shooter would you like? And then give like a bunch of ideas and sort of use that as a metric for the type of game that you make. Because when you don't anticipate or take into account what the public really wants, you get games like Concord and XDefiant and stuff like that that literally just die on the vine because they're just either not good enough or they're just not what people want. And I mean, when you're playing in a space with Apex Legends and Fortnite and PUBG and freaking Destiny and shit like that, it's like, bro, you gotta bring your A game, triple A game. And it just doesn't seem like they really had it going. But like I said, it seems like it wasn't a bad game. It just doesn't seem like it held enough interest for them to spend the money on it to keep it going.
Well, here's the thing, Jake. When it comes to making video games, I think creativity really is everything. Maybe not everything, but it's a lot. And sure, chasing profits could get you a quick buck. But honestly, if you're just putting out cookie cutter games, you're just going to lose your player base. You're going to lose players. You're not going to attract people. I think what the gaming community wants are fresh and unique experiences to stick with them. Don't you think? I would think so.
I mean, I think it's certainly a factor for sure. I mean, definitely games have gotten sterile because, I mean, that might be a little bit harsh, but they've gotten a little bit sterile because of the fact that there's such a big risk now.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, maybe don't spend $300 million making a game that's 180 hours long. Mm-hmm. Maybe spend $75 million and make a game that's 10 or 15 hours long. It's a much lower risk.
Yeah.
And people are still willing to spend $70 on something like that. So,
but maybe take creative risks. You know what I mean? Because the problem is that, like, a lot of the most iconic games out there that we still talk about, like, years later, they're coming from developers who take risks creatively and, who are able to, like, think outside the box. Like, think about Shadow of the Colossus. Fucking completely original for its time. We still fucking talk about that game. They remade it. Think about, man, there's just so many interesting ideas for games. And I understand they're trying to get into the multiplayer world and stuff, but I mean, like, there has to be a balance. But if you focus too much on that bottom line of trying to make money, you're going to end up with a soulless product. You're just going to end up with something that's like just fucking garbage, or it doesn't have. It's going to feel like AI made it, right? It's going to just feel like you're just throwing this fucking thing into the machine to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Bitcoin or something. I don't know. Or cryptocurrency. It's just like, why? Why are you making these things that everybody else is making? Like, do something fucking original. That's all. I don't know. It's annoying to me, but that's kind of where I stand on this shit. And the
thing is too is that, like I was just saying though, like if you make these shorter, cheaper experiences, you can take a chance on some of these more creative things.
Yeah.
Rather than just shoehorning, things that people like Marvel into it or something. I mean, you can make something unique and interesting and not take as much risk if you're not spending $300 million on it.
Well, I know it's challenging, man. I mean, I can't come up with an original idea right now for a video game. Although I think we've come up with a couple on the show of things that would be cool game ideas. I don't remember what the one was, but we had a really cool idea. It might have been like a colonial game or I think we were talking about a pirate game once. Like a fucking.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm sure I know what you're talking about, but I honestly don't remember.
We had a great idea for like a pirate game, not like Sea of Thieves or anything like a third person fucking pirate adventure game or something. I don't know what the fuck it was either, but it was fucking rad sounding. We were talking. I was getting really stoked on it. Anyways, so do something fucking different. And you listeners are probably like, Assassin's Creed or whatever. I'm talking like something a little different than that. Let's move on to the last news point. And the last news point is this. And I think this is important because VR2 is getting a lot of support. Now, this is interesting. And this news point kind of evolved a little bit recently. But full hand tracking is currently being tested and very well could be incoming for PSVR 2. That means no controllers. Just finding your hands and knowing what your hands are supposed to be doing. This is something that is already available on some VR systems. The hand tracking lets you play games without needing to hold controllers. They've been demoing this function on the VR2, but I'd imagine this could be the future of VR gaming. While it's not yet available on VR2, it's nice to know Sony are hard at work. So the other thing is that the Apple headset, the VR headset for Apple Vision, it doesn't use controllers.
Right.
And what is kind of weird about this is I think I read somewhere that Sony and Apple have teamed up to let the VR2 controllers work with the Apple Vision. And if that happens, this will be our gateway to being able to buy additional VR2 controllers because they're going to go into cahoots with Apple, I think. It's something that I read.
Well, they need to fucking make the controllers available to buy, first of all. I think it's really ridiculous that you can't buy them. But second of all, I mean, this is cool. I'm sure it opens up the ability for creators to make interesting things. But for me personally, if I'm going to be like immersed like that, I need to have something to hold on to in my hands. Like if I'm swinging a Beat Saber, you know what I mean? Like I want to be holding on to something. Like the hilt of a lightsaber, you know what I mean? Or like if I'm playing Resident Evil Village, I want to have the gun in my hand, you know? Like I don't want to just be pointing my finger at the wall going pew pew pew. It seems like it would detract from the experience for me. But if you're in a game that's more about like moving through a space and pointing things out, or maybe more like sort of AR type stuff or real world type stuff, then yeah, it would definitely be useful to not have to use controllers to like manipulate objects and move things around. Maybe playing a game like that Demio game or whatever, where you're like, it's like a tabletop
we just reach and grab
role-playing
shit.
game.
Yeah.
You can just reach
Roll
and
dice.
pick up characters and move them around without having to have the controllers. Like that type of stuff would be awesome. But when it comes to actually like gameplay where you're shooting stuff or hitting things
I
or
want
whatever,
controllers for that.
I would definitely want to hold on to something physical for sure.
Yeah. But this is good news for Sony. Getting in bed with Apple on something like this is cutting edge. And the fact that Apple has recognized how rad those controllers are for the VR and how effective they work, I think is saying a lot to Sony. I mean, it's a big nod to Sony in their R&D department, I think. So I hope that business opportunity works out well for Sony, and that also means that hopefully we can buy these controllers down the road if one were to break. You know, I'm always worried when I play the VR2 now that like one of those controllers is going to get fucking... I'm going to throw a punch and hit something and shatter it or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's that. The idea that I had, real quick, and we'll get to the closing of the show. The idea that I had while we were just doing the show, Jake, is I would like to foster a little more interactivity with our listeners. And one of the stupid things I wanted to do, it just in my mind, it just dawned on me is, you know, we most of us are probably PlayStation gamers. So I'm curious. I want to put an APB out to the listeners for sending us some sort of proof of their most difficult trophy that they earned, and let us know why they're so proud of it. It would be kind of cool, but I want to see the trophy. So do a screen grab, do a screen capture, send it to us. PS, this is awesome at gmail.com, or write us on Patreon, show us your trophy. Because I was thinking, like, I don't even know what my most proud trophy is. I don't even know what that would be.
I mean, I could with almost certainty tell you what mine is.
The Diablo Platinum?
That one too, but no, my Doom 2016 Platinum is probably the one that I'm the most proud of. But the Diablo 3 one was a slog. Maybe my 2 Skyrim Platinums. But yeah, speaking of games they need to release on PSVR 2, they need to release Skyrim VR on PSVR 2. That'd be awesome, because I haven't played it yet and I really want to. But yeah, I'd have to look back at my trophies and take a little bit more of a look a little bit more, maybe like the Uncharted Drake's Fortune Platinum or the Last of Us Platinum, if you want to talk Sony. Because the I don't know if you remember, but like the Drake's Fortune Platinum was hard because the crushing mode in that game is really fucking hard. Like it's not as hard in 2 and 3, but in Drake's Fortune, crushing is really fucking crushing. And then the Last of Us Platinum that I got was just, you had to play it in the survivor difficulty, which I actually thought was awesome. And then the 40 fucking hours of playing factions that I had to do in order to get that platinum was pretty neat. But yeah, other than that, I'd really have to do some digging.
I'm looking at my platinums right now, and there's nothing that I'm like extremely proud of. I do have a platinum. Well, this is actually probably my best one. I didn't realize I had a platinum in this game. That's fucking wild. The original Division, I have a platinum.
Really?
Yeah. And its rarity is 9.61%. But there's still a half a million people that have it.
Yeah, my third rarest trophy is my Last of Us Platinum, which isn't even that rare. It's like 3.78%.
Yeah. My second rarest trophy, which is something to brag about, is my platinum in MLB The Show 21. That was a fucking slog. Unbelievable. And then LJ helped me out with that one. I had to cheese one of them. And then what's the other one here? The next rarest would be the platinum in Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception Remastered. No. The first Uncharted is the next sorry, in the remaster for the first Uncharted. That game was really hard on challenging or whatever fucking mode I beat that game on. Did you get the platinums on the remastered?
For what?
Uncharted.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't do 4, but I got 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I didn't do 4 either.
I don't understand this fucking website, man. I'm trying to figure out what platinums I have.
Oh, go to type.
So I went to Trophy Log, I went to type, and I put in platinum.
Yeah.
And it's saying I have the platinum for Alan Wake 2, and I don't remember getting the platinum for that.
You must have accidentally gotten it.
December 27th, 2023, I got the platinum at just about midnight. I must have gotten it. Weird. Dude, I'm not even fucking with you. I have zero recollection of getting this platinum trophy, and it was only a year ago. That is so fucking weird. Because I remember almost all of my platinums.
Mm-hmm.
That's so strange.
So here's another question.
Resogun, maybe. That was a 6 platinum.
This is such a funny conversation. Do you have the platinum for the Telltale Walking Dead on there?
Yeah, the first season.
What does it have?
That was
like
my
a
first
weird
platinum.
Does it have like a weird trophy next to it? Like a gold star?
It has a gold star and it says 160. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
I have that next to the Sly Cooper 2 platinum as well. Oh, dude. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale platinum.
Jeez. That's fucking deep.
Wow.
It's a deep cut.
Hell yeah.
I've got a Thronebreaker platinum, which is interesting.
There you go.
That's
one thing I like about platinums is like you can tell if it's in my platinum list, you can tell that it's a game that I absolutely loved. Like for example, BioShock Infinite or Resogun or Diablo 3 or something like that. I mean, these are all games that I would consider top tier for me.
I did get a platinum in Last of Us Part 2. Did you do that?
No, I never got that.
Yeah, I got it.
I was done with it when I played it. I do want to go back to it, though, because I think I would enjoy it a lot more a second time through.
Well, the problem is the remastered version has brand new trophies. It's like, fuck. I can't platinum the game twice. But
can I play the PS4 version at 60 frames on PS5? Because I just do that.
I think you can, yeah. All right, well, listeners, tell us. Oh, I have a Infamous Second Son platinum. That's cool. Huh. My Tom Clancy's The Division is probably the although I don't understand how when it says owners, is that how many people who bought the game?
I think that's how many people who have the game and are registered on PSN profiles. So it's not everyone that owns it and has played it. They have to be registered on PSN profiles.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, the division trophy I have, it says there's 53,000 people that have that platinum. But it also says
like for
rare.
example, Horizon Zero Dawn says 1 million owners, and that game has sold like 20 million copies.
I platinum that game. Why is it not on my list?
You sure you platinumed it?
Oh yeah.
You might need to look into that. I think you might be joshing.
I thought I did. And
they don't lie. But maybe they do. I don't know.
I thought I did, dude. I only have 22 platinums, it says. I don't like that. I should have more than that.
I have 31 with an asterisk.
I average about 1 trophy a day, according to my stats, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's fucking sad. I've played 559 games, it says. What's your world rank?
So, 399 games played. It says 12 games completed, which is, I don't really understand what that means.
Yeah. I don't
because right next to it, it says completion rate is 28%.
That's probably every game you've booted up.
Well, but it's like
the completion rate.
12 into 399 is not 28%. So I don't know what those numbers mean.
Yeah.
Trophies per day is 0.93. And then my world rank is 185,112.
What's your country rank?
50,922.
All right. I wonder what that means.
I'm guessing it's based on trophy score.
For those who don't know,
Like
we are on
user rank?
psnprofiles.com. Go check out your stats. psnprofiles.com.
Yeah, I think it's based on your star ranking. It looks like that's what it's based on.
Okay.
Number 1 is some guy named TJ Meat, whose fucking trophy level is 2,498.
Oh my god, that's a
Mine
shame.
is like, mine is literally like 359 or something
I'm
like that.
397. I have a total trophy count of 6,904 trophies. That's not bad.
What's that?
6,904 trophies total. That's next to your trophy rank. That white trophy there. At the top.
Oh, how do I find that?
It should be right
World
at the top.
rank. Oh, right at the top there.
Yeah. The white
So
one.
5,064 is what I've got.
Yeah. You're just a little
My
behind
rank
me.
is 359. Yeah.
But I also have
But I have more platinum, so that's all that matters.
I have 5 years on you too. So when you're my age, you'll have more than that. All right. Anyways, let's shut up and let's close this podcast. How about it?
Sure.
I hope the listeners have a good VGA Awards viewing experience, and I really want to wish you guys all a very nice week. Send us your platinum trophy, the one that you're most proud of, if you have one. And we'll be back next Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. And please, please, please consider subscribing to our podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/PSThisIsAwesome, where you can get the episodes early one day before they go live for everybody else. It's only $1 a month. Jake, do you have anything you'd like to say before we tail out of here?
No, I don't think so.
All right, very good.
Just do your thing, do some stuff.
All right.
And get through life.
All right, so like every episode in December, we're going to close off with Fred Oakman and the Floods, 'Tis the Season in Northwestern Pennsylvania. This is the Christmas song that Jake and I wrote, and our band performed it. So enjoy the song, like L.A. Noir, Legend of Mana, and Light No Fire. P.S. This is awesome.
Tis the season in northwestern Pennsylvania. I lost my glove for the 100th time. The snow keeps coming, I'ma lose my mind. Tis the season, and I can't stop thinking about you. 2 months ago we were carving pumpkins with mistletoes, or eggnog chugging with us like last year. The snow chased you back to some West Coast beer. I've been alone. Why can't Santa send you straight back home? It's been so long. It's been so long. Tis the season